And welcome back, everyone, to Who Would Win. Now, this is basically the last Who Would Win of the month of June. The week Who Would Win always varies a little bit in length, depending on when the month actually ends. But generally speaking, if it's, say, if the month ends, like, on a Saturday or a Sunday, then I'll just do one straight week of Who Would Win. But if it ends on, like, a Monday or a Tuesday, I'll continue it on past that point. And this one, our last in the week of Who Would Win, don't worry, there's still one more coming this week on Friday, like usual, comes to us from G Fox, which I assume stands for Gray Fox, and they asked the question. It's a fight against the SCP. So this is one that could legitimately happen within the said universe these two inhabit, because they inhabit the same universe, the SCP Foundation. SCP-1294 the Laughing Fox, as it's kind of affectionately dubbed, and SCP-999, which I don't believe has a designated name. One second. Does it have a designated name? Because most of the SCPs do have, like, designated names. But I don't know right off the top of my head what this one's actually referred to as. Pure Good something. No, that's the name of the wiki that this one's on. Yeah, I don't know what this one's affectionately called. Oh god, there's sexy art of it too. Internet, why? But anyway, so SCP-999 is a little blob guy right here. He's described basically similar to like an amoeba. He's got a thin membrane, kind of like a one-celled organism, with this pink, orange unknown chemical. He's got these two eyes, mouth, and he's got these appendages. And basically, he is a living little glob of a euphoria. It acts very, very much like a dog. It loves people and other animals. It only eats candy, pretty much, or at least animal-like objects that are edible. But it comes up and it likes to hug. It likes to get tickled. It likes to scratch. It'll even play a game of tickle wrestle where it'll envelop someone to the neck until they say stop. And if it feels like it upset them, it whimpers like a dog. It is a very friendly, just fun little, creature. And it's one of the SCPs that, while it's got a unique ability because it makes you just feel euphoria consistently. It just makes you happy. The longer you are with it, the longer you feel happy. It's even been used to help like PTSD and depressed individuals. Because of that, it's one of the more, not only just benign, but actually helpful. It's not a dangerous SCP. Despite the fact that SCP, a lot of people think of the indestructible, impossible to kill reptile, or the Scarlet King, or God, or Cain and Abel, Cain anyway, or the Plague Doctor. There are actually quite a few SCPs, creature and just object-wise, that are actually perfectly harmless and actually beneficial to the world. That's what makes the SCP lore so fun, is that there's everything under the sun when it comes to the SCPs. But yeah, he's just a friendly little blob. SCP-1294 is similar. It's described as a male Fennekin fox that's basically the same size as a normal Fennekin fox, except it's composed entirely of fungus and plant matter that make up its entire body. It also produces a gas that causes euphoria. The longer you're around the gas, the more you'll just be in a state of like complete hallucinogenic daze. Now, you can be pulled out of there and snapped out of it if you're not there for a huge amount of time. However, unlike SCP-999, SCP-1294 actually is somewhat harmful to people. Just due to the fact that after a while, if you're just like in a euphoria, it sits in your lap, and then just starts to kind of assimilate you into its being. It just absorbs you and consumes you. And it doesn't matter what your size is, it can do it. It takes about a week to digest. So unlike 999, 1294 actually does pose some threat to humans. Mild as it may be. It all depends if you're smart enough not to like inhale the gas or be affected by the gas. But the question then becomes, if these two are to be thrown in the ring together, who would win? Because SCP-1294 is anamorphic in form, but is made of fungi. Or is made of, non-animal and based material. And so that's debatable. It's also clear that that 999 standard effects probably wouldn't work on it. Or if they do, they don't work in the same way that 1294 is, because while 1294 is a like aerosol effect, it's a gas of some kind. 999 seems to be more of a psionic effect. Its presence just seems to make people feel better. So if that's the case, and 1294, like if they would put in the same environment together, 1294, despite being a fungus, still has like the capability of thinking like an animal does, then my guess is it would be affected by 999, whereas 999 would not be affected by 1294. Numbers, folks, they can be a bitch sometimes. So in that sense, then the euphoria would just ultimately overtake 1294, and it would ultimately it'd be 999 that wins, because they're just going to be playing, and 1294 isn't going to be able to do anything against it. Even if he tries to assimilate it, which he would only do if he felt comfortable enough doing, I don't know if he could assimilate 999, or if 999 would even let him do it, because I have a feeling 999, if it had to, would defend it, because it's defended people before, even taking bullets for individuals. So, because it's made of fungus, even though it takes the form of an animal, I think if 999 actually felt like this thing was trying to threaten it, it would consume 1294, and I don't think there's anything stopping it from doing so. But I think that's a very unlikely scenario, though possible, just because it still takes the form of an animal, which 999 is very friendly and likes to be around along with people. That said, I will give this battle of the ahs and the I feel happies to 999. And the reason for that is its euphoria effects don't seem to be physical, they seem to be psychological. It seems to be a psionic capability, whereas with 1294, it does need like inhalation. It does need you to breathe in the gas that it produces. So, in that sense, yes, I'll go 999 on that. But that's just my opinion. The SCP is a very wide fandom and lore-based spectrum. You could go a lot of different routes with these guys. But what would you go with? Let me know in the comments below. But thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas of who would win, Star Wars, Super Magic, what if, anything to do on the channel. Put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll get to that at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. Thanks for watching, and I got what if to do after this. Later.